Yo, yo, yo. You already know it's time to go, go, go. Welcome to the show. What up, everybody? This is another episode of Thinker versus Speaker. I done messed the name up. Another episode of Thinker versus Speaker. I am Marissa the Thinker, and I have another special guest in the building today. We got my Uncle Danny. Man, so many things. We got husband, we got father, grandfather. Uh, what I wanna call you a sea man, but we got a military, huh?
See me good, but Chief, you can call me the Chief. That'd be good.
Chief. Okay, we gonna call you Chief Danny for the rest of the episode.
No, that's good.
But yeah, we got my Uncle Danny in the building. Would you like to introduce yourself before we get started?
Oh, sure. First of all, I just want to give a shout out to everybody out there and all my military people. But I'm Danny Yarbrough. I'm Marissa's uncle. And, I'm very happy to be here. She asked me to come on and talk a little bit about my military experience, being that it's close to Veterans Day, and just give a little insight about the military. I have a little bit of experience in the military. I did 8 years, and so I just wanted to come on and give a little bit about life and about the life in the military, and you don't know who you'll touch out there, so. And that's my introduction, so we're going to get it on today.
All right. And you said you spent 8 years in the military. I don't exactly know the proper term for it, but is that like 2 terms? Is that what they call it?
That's 2 terms. That's 2 terms. It's 4 years term when I was in there. The older term for the people like my father and your grandfather, I think they were drafted over 2 years,
Oh, okay.
And so there's a process that you have to go through, we had boot camp, and then we had our training schools that we had to go through, so we had to learn our jobs that we're going to do once we're out in the field. And then, so we had our schooling, and then we got transferred to our base, and that's where we lived and worked and went back and forth. And so I done that, and then when I had my son, they sent me back home, and during that time, I asked them to let me recruit. So I was one of the youngest people one of the youngest petty officers that recruited in St. Louis. And
Really?
Yeah, I was one of the youngest. Normally, you had to be a chief petty officer to do that, and I'm gonna use other terms so you can understand. So
Yeah.
normally you would have to be an E7 in ranking to do that, but I was an E5. But I had good enough evaluations where they allowed me to do that if I would make it through schooling. And schooling was you had like 8 weeks cramped. You had like a half of a year cramped up in 8 weeks that you had to get through.
Oh, wow.
And so it was tough, but we made it through that,
Yeah.
I'll let you ask me a couple questions, and then we'll break down some of the things that you had to go through for each one.
All right.
Some other questions. I don't want to just talk you out.
Yeah, I got you. So, when did you decide to join the military, and what made you do so?
Of course, I'm from the St. Louis area, and from the city of St. Louis, and I learned at an early age that St. Louis was a place that I just didn't want, as a young man, I just didn't want to. I wanted to be able to expand, so I
Yeah.
wanted to have an opportunity to travel and stuff like that. So I had a job, because I worked at Purina out of high school.
You did?
Yeah, I actually went to work. I was in work study as a senior.
Oh, is that what my dad did too? But he just did it for.
They did it for somebody somewhere else. Cause I think Jerry was my brother Jerry. He was with like Shells or something.
That's what my dad did, I think.
Yeah, they worked at Shells and they got paid while they was in school. But most of the brothers, we was done with school early enough where they gave us an opportunity. So some people worked a half a day, and then they did their academics during the earlier part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But Purina had a program where I was allowed to go down there all day, and we took business classes, from administration to data processing. It was a different type of school, like you had to stand up and present yourself. Every Monday I had to stand up and give a life story, a newspaper story, something about Congress or something like that. And I had to speak an hour. So it was a business class that you took, and then I went and I worked during the evenings. During the afternoons. So down there, I think my job down there, I was actually cutting up animals and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then, so what happened was when I went to the military and I went into recruiting, I learned about all the laws and stuff. So when I called back to Purina when I got out, they gave me my job back in all my years.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And then actually, like I told you, I was cutting animals. I was cutting pigs and all this stuff, and dog food. I was actually, working with the scientists down there, and they was getting the ingredients for dog food and stuff like that.
Right.
So, but what ended up happening when I went to the military, where I worked as an engineman. That was my rating. So I worked as an engineman. I went to school, then I worked in what they call AGAN. Worked on boilers and I worked on pumps. We built pumps. Well, that translated to me going into the job that I retired from, which was maintenance.
Okay.
So it worked out.
So you learned, you got your job kind of from the military.
I got
your career, I should say.
I got a job in my career, from the military. And really, see, the military is like out there. It's like your ship is like a little city, and they don't have what we call civilians or other people on there, outsiders on there. We have to do everything from being barbers to cooks to refueling aircrafts to flying the aircrafts. So we do all of that our own self.
Right.
And so it translates to what you do outside. It translates to what you do in the civilian world.
Gotcha.
So it's opportunity. So you don't get opportunities like that in the civilian world. They don't let you mess with $1 million equipment. Out here without not knowing what you're doing. So you get that opportunity to do that, and so you have a good resume behind you.
Right. Yeah.
I even had on my resume, I'm gonna tell you how versatile it was. I even was in charge of what they call the jet propelled pump room, and I had a group of people that I was in charge of that refueled the helicopters when they came on board.
That's cool.
As a young man.
Yeah.
You're talking about 20, 22, 23-year-old young man.
Yeah, you ain't that old.
right, and that's the kind of experience you get, and it does something to your, in the world where people don't trust you with stuff and stuff like that. You got to do it. They teach it to you, and you have to do it.
It almost sounds like you get empowered in a sense.
You get empowered. It was Marissa was one of the greatest things that I didn't know at the time. Because sometimes as a young person, coming from where we come from, we are ungraceful about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't know how good we have it. And we don't know what we're being trained for,
Yeah.
And we just, sometimes it take a long time before we can humble ourselves to get the rewards from that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm where I am today because of, some of the things. I had no idea where my footsteps was leading. I never lived off fear. I always, I wanted to go do things. I've been able to jump off ships and all that stuff. Ocean,
Yeah.
for other young man that didn't know how to swim.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Is that how you learned how to swim, or they taught you how to swim before you did that?
No, that's the see. Now you're getting into the boot camp part. So, but since you asked about it, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
So you got an Olympic style pool. This is one of your tests that you had to go through, besides shooting a gun and different things like that. But so you got an Olympic style pool, and you got a long line. I mean, it might be bigger than an Olympic style pool, but you got a long line. So you have to climb all the way up. It's like maybe 18 levels. I think it's specially designed. It's the size of a ship. It'll be like going off an aircraft carrier.
Ooh.
So you got the long line, and when you get to the top, there's no life vest or none of that. But what you have to do, even if you fear, if you say you can't swim or whatever, but you cross both of your arms and you jump off the thing, but they got lifeguards down there. So that's to break your fear.
Oh, wow.
So
From the top of an aircraft carrier?
It's about the size of an aircraft carrier. It'll be simulated. And so you jump off of it, but you got people down there to catch you.
Right.
And then you got to find a way. No matter how you swim, they'll be down there with you. And then you got to try to swim the length of the pool. And if you can't, then they'll just have you come back, and they're learning how to swim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you have to break your fear from that.
Yeah, because I guess it's necessary, right? Because if anything was to happen, because y'all would be out at sea, really at some point. So if the time ever came where you would have to actually jump off of the ship, you can't be afraid.
Right. And then we talked about this one time too. So when you get done with that, they go over. Now you know how sailor uniforms made, right? You got the bell bottoms, and you got the black nice shirt with the sleeves, with the open sleeves and everything.
Right, the white uniforms, right? That I hate to say that Popeye uniform, but the Popeye uniform.
Yeah, the Popeye uniform and the Popeye uniform and the dungarees is what we used to call them. Now they changed now. So those uniforms made like that because they float. They actually floating devices.
How?
Well, if I had to jump in the ship, all I do is tie the legs up. Tie the legs up and grab the bottom of the shirt, right? The bottom of the shirt, and jump in the water like that. And the arms will cover up my shoulder, and I push the shirt down in the water. And they showed you that. They showed you that. See, our survival tips is out there. It's out there, And then one of our tests that we had, as you go in, as you when you're on the ship and stuff like that. Let's say you get, and then it's out. This is scare somebody with all this stuff, but we train for this.
Yeah, because you have to know, you have to experience it.
So if something happened that your torpedo or something come to the side of the ship, so we talk. We go to a class, and it's a shoring class where they simulate that, where they fill the pool up with water, and you have to go and take boards and stuff this stuff in there. You have a group of 3 people to shore it up, so and while the water coming in.
And does that mean like plugging like a hole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so you plug the hole, and then before the water get so high, then you de-water and stuff. But you train for all of that stuff. You train for it.
Wow. So,
Go ahead.
And that training, that all happens in boot camp, or is it a process?
Well, in boot camp, that's a little later on because, after you get a little more senior, because they have teams that can do that. They want you to know it.
Yeah.
But they'll group you up with somebody a little more senior when something like that happens. But they expect you to be able to kind of help out. But as far as boot camp, now, what boot camp is like if I'm going to use you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go in there, they change everything about you. They can't use you the way you are. So they change the way you walk. They change the way you talk, the way you wear your clothes, how you wake up. They change your vocabulary to a military style. And because they can't have one person saying stuff, using language, like us as African Americans or blacks, and whites using stuff. Some whites don't even understand the way we talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so everybody got to be as one. So they change everything, like port and starboard, bulkhead. That's the walls. Everything. They change everything. All the wording is changed, and like the way you wake up, the way you do your bed. You don't straighten your bed up the way you used to. They got creases that they put in it. When you do your pants, you had to specify your shoes, but it's all the same.
Yeah.
Everybody do it the same. And so they change all of it. And then also, like you go through all the things that you might have to happen, all the things that may happen out the fleet. So you have to go through the gas chamber.
What does that mean?
Okay. The gas chamber is like, so if you in war or something, or if somebody throw a mustard bomb or chemicals, they make your eyes watery, they make you throw up and all that stuff.
Oh wow!
So you go in with a mask that you can actually breathe, and then they make everybody take their mask off. And then you had to sit there and count to about 25 so you can see how it feels. So you can be disciplined, because some people get scared or nervous, so they have to let you know how their gas feel. Like if you can't take it off, because if you take it off, it'll you can't, your vision and stuff will go bad and stuff like that. And I think that's the same chemicals that they use, like when the police going into stuff and they throw little smoke bombs and stuff like that, and it make you cough and spit up and your eyes burn and all of that stuff. Where they want it's all about discipline. It's all about discipline.
So they it sounds like a couple of things. Because for one, I hear that you saying like it makes you fearless because you kind of have to face all of your fears. And you said that you had to do that with the mask off, like you had to stand in there with the mask off.
So you have your mask on when you first go in there. And then everybody do things as a team. And then they tell everybody to take it off. And then what they want you to be able to do is don your mask, clear it out. And then you stay in there for about, another 15 minutes to make sure you've done it right. You know what I'm saying? So it's about this.
And what's that like? What was that experience like having to do that?
It was hard. I mean, but that's what they do because they wanna take you right to the edge. But they let you know that if you think about. And now I'm just using a different example because this is something you'll understand.
Yeah.
So if a person is out, like let's say like they're fighting a war over there right now.
Right.
So the first thing that you do in the city, if you hear a gunshot, what comes to your mind?
You gonna run. Or you gonna run and at least try to figure out where it came from.
Right. So but you can't do that in the military. So that's why they don't let you know how it feel and what goes through you and all that stuff because they got to discipline you, And if some people, they minds, it change. You change. When you see somebody go in there, they go in one way, and when they come back out, they militant, because they've been through some stuff.
Yeah.
You change them. It's like a person that went through jail, and they went in as a young man, and now you see them, using those what they do to iron. They know all the different stuff after about a couple years.
Yeah. So okay. With that being said, how do you think that you were? Like, how do you see yourself before you went into the military? And how do you think it changed you, like, going through that process? Because how old were you when you went into it?
I'm glad you asked that. So, I went in, I worked for a year at Purina. And then I went in 19. I went in at 19 years old. Now, and then I got to give a shout out to my wife too, because I heard Marvin talk about,
Yeah.
So,
hey, Margaret.
Yeah. So me and your aunt, Margaret. So we've been married 40 years.
Ooh.
So I went in there at 19, and at 21. I can't, Marvin tell you all about, just like Val was his soulmate, Margaret was my soulmate. So,
Cause y'all grew up together too.
We grew up together. Cause when you talk about the kindergarten and stuff, we grew up together. We all knew each other. Of course, I told you that, me, Val.
Yeah.
Val was a cheerleader, and I played football, and Marvin was there, and so everybody know everybody.
Yeah, because you and my uncle played football together, my mom's brother.
Yeah. Mike Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Great running back. It was a joy blocking for him.
Not the Super Bowl one. Don't get it. Not that one. But yes.
Hey, look, trust me. Anybody listening on here, man, like, why he's not wasn't in the professionals, I don't know, because to me, he was one of the greatest running backs play in the GFL, Little League football.
I heard he was good.
And maybe the dude could fly. He was hard running. Bo Jackson, but
he just chose band instead. I think that was.
Oh yeah. He could have easily been one of the greatest running backs. But I'm gonna get back on this. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I came back home, picked up Margaret. We left with the clothes on our back, and we left, and got married, and we went to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it made. I went in one way, and it made a man out of me.
Mm-hmm.
And so discipline and everything. You can't learn that. You can't the stuff that you can't learn from the streets.
Yeah. Yeah, because it even some of the things that you were describing. Now, granted, I've never been through anything like that, but some of the things that you described, like even just having to be put in situations where you have to just be fearless and be bold, and when you put in strenuous situations like that, it does something to you psychologically. Because to me, it seems like it makes you kind of question more than just that situation. Of course, like you going through these specific scenarios for different reasons, like, like jumping off of the boat, going through the gas chambers, like these are specific to the military. But even just psychologically, when you going through these things, these are, certain life skills that you picking up too, that really, mature you, because, like not being afraid to take action, being able to stay calm in such stressful situations and think a way through it, empowering yourself to take charge. Like, I think when you go through a regular life, these are some of the challenges that you miss that really make you a strong, solid person.
You know what though, Marissa, though, I listen at your show, and I listen, because I talk to Marvin all the time, Jerry, but one thing I learned in life, that's a common denominator for life, and this is all through God, through His grace and His mercy for you. Everybody have, in order, He's a God of changing people through hard. He changed your heart. And so He always take you. He had to humble us. So he take us all the way down. Just like He changed the people in the military. He changed everybody got their own way that they done it to Him. He humble you, whether it's to drugs, alcohol, it's different things. It's just different things, and when I listen in a different way, because I listen at your testimony, and it's just a joy. I always listen, and see, I know how to listen for the way God go through people and use people, and how He break people down, because He can't use you like you are.
Right? Yeah.
He had to make you the way He want to have you.
Because you got to see Him to believe Him.
Yes, ma'am. So His will can be done. And then when you understand your purpose that you have for you, and which you finding your purpose, and you reaching out, you touching people, and you helping people, And then I want to give you a shout out, for your show, for what you do,
Thank you.
And you just don't know, it's growing, and it's, it's touching people. And even from start to finish, I enjoy the product from start to finish. I listen, man, and it's doing a good job. But it's that's that common denominator from what Jerry had to go through, going through what he had to go through with the drugs, and I know Marvin, I know some of the things that he went through,
right,
and I know how it turns out. See, it's not what you go through or what you did, what you go through or going through, but it's how you finish.
Yep.
So and a lot of people, we never really finish until the end. But yeah, that's a joy.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about it too, because me being young, and when I look around at other people, like some people got it figured out, but back when when I was kind of, going through the things that I was going, when I was just, proud, and I had a big ego and all of those things, I hadn't been humbled yet. So when you go through those things, it feels like everything is happening to you, um, until you realize that, everybody got a story. Everybody has a story, and these trials and these tribulations are actually what makes you who you are, and like who you were meant to be. Because you were saying, and it's just like, to a certain extent, you kind of gotta meet God, or you gotta have that fear. It's something about when you so scared and you don't know I don't know what's next. I don't know how we going forward. I don't know what to do. When you hit that point, where it's just like, I just gotta jump out on faith. And it kind of like I think now that's gonna stay with me. This is gonna stay with me for the rest of my life. Just that vision of being, at the top of a ship or something like it, and just having to jump. And it's just, because when you in the military, it's just like I kind of got to, because like, what do you do if you don't jump?
Right. Exactly. And then like you said, like faith is tested. I ain't gonna say like every day, but it's tested. And then like once we have continuous, you go through things all the time in life. Every day is something.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing, and then another. And then it seemed to get easy. But it's not. But because nobody got it together. But you just have people that their faith been tested so many times.
Yeah.
So their faith is so strong that they just it don't look like nothing bother me. Because can I share something with you?
Sure.
Because I know me and you don't get to talk on these bases all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And look, and Marvin might say we got it together. We don't have any issues as far as that side. But so when I was about 35, maybe 35 or 38, so I had to go get help. And I'm sure telling you this on my show. I had to go see. I had to go get help because life was starting to get too much for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you talk about your story,
yeah.
But see, my help wasn't like I didn't get the kind of help you got.
Right.
So and that help kind of pushed me. I said that wasn't the help I needed, and that's what turned me to, going to church. Turned me to the Lord,
Yeah.
So because I found a relief.
Yep.
I found a great release, stress relief. And I started learning more about life.
Mm-hmm.
So and so that was my, after that was my joy. But I had to go see someone. Sometimes life, get to be too much,
Yeah. I didn't know that. Well, I guess I would know that though, because I was young.
No, and then and I know so like Margie was saying last time on the show, there is a lot that I do. I talk to my mother about, just because of her age, I want to help her. I want to, so I do share things with her, but to share things because that's what things that she like to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Not to hurt no one's life, but we share things and we talk, and I talk to her every day. So
it's kind of, I like that we talking about it, because I feel like it's something that people don't really talk about, especially in families like ours.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it well, not even like black families in general, it kind of seems like, because you know everybody has that motto, like what happens in this house stays in this house. And like people don't really like to talk about, you know, when they going through things or like what they going through. And I think it kind of lends to a misconception that, like, you know, people ain't going through stuff. So then when you looking from the outside looking in, it's just like, you know, everybody else is fine, but I am not okay. But how do I say something? You know, who's gonna understand me? And just being able to talk about, like, you know, every, you know, when you look around, actually, there's a lot of people that's going through it. Everybody going through something.
Yeah,
Actually, you know, whether we talk about it or not, and it's probably more people that understand you than not.
yeah. And I think that, see, for me too, you know, like, uh, I was away from the family for a long time, you know,
Hmm.
because I was in the military.
Right.
And so, you know, and I came back and it was just, you know, just life. People was just growing up, and you know, so we just didn't have that time, like, you know, that closeness of time, you know, and we had to make that time, boy. And I think we were starting to get closer before people started kind of moving out the way and stuff like that, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah. But you know, the other thing I want to do, Marissa, I want to give for your uncle a prayer for my brother. You know,
Oh yeah.
you know, he was in the hospital. You know, I think he listened to the show or somebody listened to it, but I just wanted, you know, we just wanted to hope that he get well and
Yeah.
prayers like that. You know.
I always got faith. You know, I always got faith. I know, you know, it's tough, but I know it's gonna be all right.
Yeah, yeah. But and then, you know, like, again, shout out to all the military, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, National Guard. You know, even and they not military, but even the Salvation Army. You know,
Yeah.
we just, and what they do, they are like, you locally, you got your cops,
Hmm.
but they the ones that keep you secure, keep the country secure in the U.S. and keep you, you know, that's their job. You know, there's no freedom without that. You know, like,
The Coast Guard.
Coast
Oh, okay.
Guard, Coast Guard takes care of the seas and make sure drugs don't come through, and then, like, they protect you. Like, let's say they got tornado that tore up and stuff. That's where
Uh.
they come. That's what they come through. They kind of do what the Navy, you know, what the Navy do. They got ships and they got some on land. You know,
Uh.
so they do a combination of things. They help people, you know, save people. You had to call like when Mike Brown died,
Yeah.
Mike Brown got shot. So, you know, police can't protect so much. So
Oh, and the National Guard. Okay.
National Guard,
It's a
Coast
lot.
Guard, yeah, so that's what they do. They protect. Like, you got a war going on right now for Russia.
Yeah.
So Russia just decided, okay, we want this. You know, that's ours, and we want this land that you guys got. And that's where the military come in. In the United States, we strong for the military.
Hmm.
And you know, it's a lot of people just sacrificing, you know, leaving their wives, their kids, and going over there.
So, huh? So why was that the choice for you, and what made you pick the Navy specifically?
Uh, I just didn't like. You know, there was a guy that came up to our school when I was in school, and his name was Senior Chief Harvey, and I just had got a relationship with him. And but the thing that he told me was, and that I really liked it, was the travel part.
Hmm.
And because I wanted to have the opportunity to get get away and travel. I didn't want to be locked down in one place. And so, and I have. I've been, if you named it, I've been there. That's on all over the Mediterranean.
Oh, wow.
You want me to name some places?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I've been to Spain, I've been to Italy, I've been to Bahamas, I've been to Rome.
Oh, wow.
All the Red Sea, the U.S. Canal, Cuba, pretty much any place.
That was when you couldn't go to Cuba, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
but you in the military though.
But they had war games. See, we went over there to what they call Gitmo, and that's the war games that we had. That we had to go over there.
Yeah.
They do war games over there. So
what's war games?
For the Navy, it's like, so you're asking some good questions. Okay, so we got missiles that you can shoot out of our guns that we got, big guns. So you can have it. So let's say they want to check the aims of the missiles. So they can be looking one way, and the missile, and shoot the missile out to a target, and then go back out and hit the back of the target, go behind your head to hit the target.
Oh, wow. So,
and then doing that, they have what they call darkened ship, so you can learn how to function things in the dark, turn power off. They act like you lose power. So it's to save your life, really.
So it's kind of like combat training.
It is combat training, and they let you know what ship went down and different things like that. So they have combat. They have different people, different groups of people. You might have Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on what you call a fast frigate. All those ships out there is called what you call a fleet.
Mm-hmm.
So you got aircraft carriers. That's the main one. I was on a fast frigate. You got tugboats, you got destroyers, and they all encamped around this aircraft carrier. Because you take the hit before them because they got the jets. It's like a little city.
Yeah.
So when you travel, if you ever see them travel, they travel in what they call a fleet.
So it's all of them?
It's all of them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's all it's pretty. They don't just do. They have a reason for everything. It's so much I could tell you.
I guess so, because if it's a battle, then everybody gotta be. You can't just have one thing out there, I guess.
Yeah, there's so many things that you could. There's so many things that you could do out there. That aircraft carrier is. They say 4 football fields long.
Oh wow.
And of course, it land planes on there. And it's a city. You got to take care of the city. So, you got construction people, maintenance people. So everything that you name on there, I even had like a little book with some of the jobs.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the jobs?
Now you see, you really yell me now. Let me.
Hey, you brought it up. If you give me the line, I'm gonna take it.
Okay, let me pull my.
Get your readers on. He coming with the facts.
That's what I used to do. So I recruited too. So.
And while you looked that up, where were you stationed at?
So after I came out of boot camp, which was in Chicago, was in Great Lakes, Illinois.
So the Navy Pier just ain't an attraction?
The Navy Pier? No, the Navy Pier, that's an attraction. It probably at one time They did have something coming there, but like I'll give you an example. Like, so I was stationed in Mayport, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the fleet was. But during my time, we had to go to the shipyards. So then I was stationed in Brooklyn.
Oh, really? So basically, the Navy can be found anywhere there's water.
They can be found where there's water, and sometimes you don't have to have water because they have shore duty. So you could be stationed overseas in just a hospital, depending on what you do, because you got hospitalmen.
Mm-hmm.
So you got hospitalmen, and you got maintenance people that can do that. So it just depends. So you have shore duty, you have sea duty. So let me give you some of the names. They got so much stuff. So they got dental specialists. They got medical lab technicians. This is on the medical side. Medical record technicians, medical service technicians, nursing technicians, occupational therapists.
Oh, wow.
Them on there. I can tell you a little bit about that from there too. Operating room technicians.
Wow.
Orthopedics. You wouldn't think they go through that, right?
Nah, they got real life specialists.
Look, physical therapy specialists.
Y'all got people we can't even go to.
Look, respiratory specialists. Yeah, so respiratory. Look, the what they got? I forgot what they I forgot what they call it. So what the Catholic call it. Air control.
Cause it's
traffic control.
Cause you saying it's just like okay, cause you like what you were saying. I was like, so it's a hospital. It's just like, oh, of course it's a hospital. Of course it's a hospital.
And they the best. Remember when Trump had to go to the hospital?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
He went to he had a military guy taking care of him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They the best.
Yeah.
Computer programmers.
Yeah.
Computer special analysts. Environmental health specialists.
Of course they got it.
Yeah,
they got full-fledged airports. They got full-fledged hospitals.
Yep. Intelligence. They got pilots, mapping technicians.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on and on. I'm just starting to so you can't get that from anything. So it's just a different route that I took, and like what you asked me was what made me go in there. Just opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It was just opportunity. Because I realized at a young age my parents weren't going to be able to afford. We had 5 people in the family. And so I knew I wasn't going to, they couldn't afford to send me to college, and I didn't want to put that on them. And so, I just tried to find a way. If I believe me, if I could have moved and could have been like Marvin, like he said, he always wanted to kind of leave. If I could have convinced the whole family to move, then I would have done that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. It was just, I learned at a young age, the area, just trying to do better for myself. I had no idea, but it was like jumping off that board.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a board jumper, man.
Yeah.
I've been a board jumper my whole life, man. But, Marissa, I had to make a decision. So I work on boilers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the boiler room hot.
Yeah.
See, the boiler room get up to, at times, 130 degrees while I'm working in there.
Oh, wow.
And so, when I was young, it didn't bother me. But as I got old, I started getting hospitalized and stuff like that. And so,
I
So
know she always gotta say something.
yeah, she probably think I'm morbid too. Yeah. So I just learned, I saved a penny and I jumped off that diving board. That's how I retired.
Yeah.
I don't have, it might hurt me later on, but you know what? I just put through faith and stuff like that. I just jumped out there.
Yeah.
I jumped out there. I don't have no regrets. And so I jumped out there, and I don't know how long I'm gonna live. I'm diabetic and all this stuff. So yeah.
You have to say it like that.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't have because I all my trust in God.
That's true.
So I mean, it's not. I can't fool nobody. I can't fool them. So I don't. And I'm gonna just say this, and this is where you gotta live your life.
Mm-hmm.
If something happened and you have this on recording that I said this, you'll cry. But if I die tomorrow, I'm pleased with everything I've done in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not shameful, and I don't expect to live forever.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do expect to do is every day that I wake up, I want to do something that's worthy of my life.
Yep.
So I don't, as long as I live every day that I got on this earth and give it all that I think that I got, I don't have to please nobody, but I don't have nobody to please. I don't. So I'm not ashamed. Because I can't live life like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that keep the doctors away.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit the same way, but that Marvin tell you on the thing, because we a little bit alike, but just a little bit Marvin more outspoken.
Yeah.
But I don't have to please nobody.
Yeah.
And if somebody get mad, it's not because of nothing I said to them. That's them. I don't have nothing.
Yes.
You want me to be real,
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't have no. I don't have to live an apology. Now, if I hurt somebody, I'll tell them I'm sorry. If I rethink it, go back and rethink it. But you can't help them. But you
yeah. I can't. You can't feel for everybody.
And so, you have to live every day knowing that, when I lay my head at night, because the way scripture say, we have to repent daily.
Yeah.
Because we sin every day.
We do.
So, but you don't have to be shamed for it. All you say is just you're sorry. Tell you're sorry or you ask for forgiveness. And that's enough. You don't have to do. That's enough. You can't live a perfect life.
Nope.
And don't try. You can't. Don't try to live a perfect life. So.
Yeah. It is. I kind of like that you said that, because actually it puts it in perspective, because that's kind of where I'm getting to, and it's not necessarily the same. Because, of course, I'm young. I feel like, I want to live a long life. But I do have faith. And I know that with everything that I've been through, I have built a special relationship that is all my own with God. And I have so much trust and so much faith. And He showed me so many times that He's with me and He got me. I pray every day. And when you do that and you hit a certain point, it's just life is what it's going to be. Life is what it's going to be. Nothing is guaranteed. It's no guarantee that I'll be here tomorrow, 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now. It's no guarantee. Only God knows what it's going to be for me. And my only job in this life is to do what He asked me to do, which is, going through this process, finding my purpose, helping people the way that I'm able to help people, and just living my life day to day and doing, living the best life that I can for me.
Well, you're doing an amazing job, you're doing an amazing job, and I give you A+.
Thank you.
You touching a lot of people. You touching a lot of people, man. So I just say you just keep doing what you're doing. And look, you can't please. One thing about people, you can't please them. And don't try, like, get along, do what you do, but if you try to please, it'll hold you back from doing. It'll hold you back. So you keep doing what you're doing, man. You keep doing what you're doing. Don't let, I had some sleepless nights. I've been having sleepless nights because I've been praying. I've been praying about stuff. Because see, and I mean this politics and everything. The devil is a deceiver. Woo. See, that's the whole thing, because the devil is a deceiver, and he'll put stuff in your mind
that ain't there,
or
ain't real.
Yeah, and you stay up countless nights, and you think something is the way it is, and it ain't like that. And so, even sometimes you look at TV or turn on the news and you hear politics, and what they saying, you know it's not true.
Yeah.
But they just deceiving people.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of trickery and deceiving around here, but
I thought about something the other day too, because I ain't been keeping up with politics. I did a lot when Trump was, doing his thing, but I kind of pulled back from politics a little bit because it's so much all the time. Yeah. And I kind of tapped in a little bit with this election because I wasn't gonna vote. I decided to vote because I ain't one of them people where it's just like, I'm not gonna complain about society if I'm not voting. I'm not gonna do that, you know what I'm saying? Because even though I might not have the most faith in the people in office, at the same time, you kind of gotta use the system and at least try. You can't say that it don't work unless you try. So I kind of tapped in a little bit, and I kept seeing all this, like, the red wave didn't happen. The red wave. And it's just like, I thought about it because I ain't been keeping up with politics, and I thought about it. And I was just like, what if they just hyped up this red wave to get Democrats to vote?
That's exactly what they get you for.
You just scaring people into voting.
To get you, but it's the opposite. That's to get you so you don't vote. They want you to give up. They don't want you to go vote. Because the law has been passed. They trying to get back to the old days. We and then I ain't gonna really say nothing about too much about politics, because sometimes you'll hurt people's feelings because you know what I'm saying, because
people get too sensitive about these politics. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but the thing is, and I respect that. But see, people like Ain't I the Maid, my mother, they women in general, they didn't get an opportunity to vote. And so we have to, like, if the line long. Like if somebody asks me what time to go, I say I'm going when I think the line belongs. Because I love it. I want to be out there because I know what people went through to vote.
Yeah.
And so I want to be out there. Like you say, you can't say nothing. And believe it or not, some of them coming down to 30, 40 votes.
Yeah. They're getting close these days. They're getting very close.
They get very close. We very split. And then it's a lot of, you just gotta be Satan big. So I mean you gotta be very, you gotta pray about things. You gotta know Lord for yourself.
Yeah, you do. Especially in this world.
Yeah, not just listen to people. You got to read up, and you got to be wise. And if you're not wise, ask the wise man,
Mm-hmm.
because you got a lot of wise people around. Not the foolish ones, but the wise ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, that's a very good thing that you just said too, because it's just like I'll even get on my Facebook these days. This is why I don't get on social media a lot, actually, because I'll get on my Facebook and I'll see people, and it's just like they'll be saying things, and it's just like this sounds so, you know, misguided. It's like this logic is so kind of like backwards, but it's just like I don't. It just be one, because I don't agree with you. Like that ain't got nothing to do with me, and two, it's just like very much a tell of just like what's going on in society now. It's just like everybody is just listening, you know, to other people for the way that they should go about life, instead of looking inward and, and figuring out what life is supposed to look like for you.
Yeah. And most of the time, the answers right there. All they had to do was ask.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like when you have a rebellious spirit, you know, that you just, I don't really, but they rebel, you know, and they just they don't want to listen to correct things, you know. But I just pray that people just, you know, they pray that you can get a good spirit, that you can figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I just pray
Yeah.
to keep things like that. I just kind of hold some things to myself, and I just pray about it.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that I you know, I try to stay out of it, and even when it comes to certain things, is I very much have an attitude of just like, you know what, people are different, and who am I to judge somebody else? Because everybody is going through their own life. You know, everybody is going through their own process. The same way how I had to figure things out in my life, yeah, other people got to figure things out over there, and it's not my place to get all wrapped up in there and try to be telling somebody how to figure out life. They got to figure that out, because just the way I didn't want to listen to nobody, when I didn't want to listen, God had to humble me. He had to show me, and sometimes that's kind of just what it takes, and you got to let people go through what it is that they're going to go through. But you know,
God,
yeah.
here's the thing: you never know what kind of day those people have. You never know what they gotta go, what they going through.
Right.
You know, this is the only thing you can do is pray for them and love them, man.
You can help more people with compassion and judgment.
Yeah, love them. That's the best thing. You know,
That's how you help somebody.
yeah, for sure, right. When you helping a lot of people, you know, with your show and everything, you helping a lot of people.
I appreciate. I just want to get people to think. That's it. I just want to get people to think, and I want to get people to think and really start questioning things, because there's a lot of people that's just misguided. And it's just like we gotta start thinking for ourselves. We gotta stop looking at everybody else to figure out our lives first, because everybody is going through a different situation, and you can't base your solution based off somebody else.
Yeah.
Come on, like just think. You know, you just think, and it's just like I ain't even gonna tell people to turn to God, because guess what? When you go inside, sometimes that's exactly what you find.
Right.
Yeah.
You got any more questions about your daddy or anything you want to ask? I love to talk about it.
I don't. I'm gonna have to. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna have to bring you back. So we gonna wrap it up today, but I'm gonna have to bring you back because I want to ask some more questions, because I want to talk about, you know, of course, like what it was like, you know, being in the military and like trying to have a family, trying to find the balance of those things, in the midst of growing up, because it sounds like you started your family young too.
Oh yeah.
So, I want to talk about that, and then I would love to get either like you and my dad, get y'all together and talk about some things. So, of course, if you want to come back, you are more than welcome to come back. I enjoyed the conversation with you.
It's just talking. It's just talking is life, and I thought it'd be a little harder, but it's actually easy.
Yeah.
So it's easy, and so yeah, I don't win anytime.
Okay.
And you can ask any subject anytime. I'm ready and willing, and I thank you for inviting me.
Oh, it's no problem. It's no problem.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. Well, on that note, y'all, we gonna go ahead and wrap this up. If you're looking for me, you can find me at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it, but I never feel like it, and Marissa Yarba on Facebook. And if you're looking for Thinker versus Speaker on social media, you can find us at Thinker versus Speaker on Facebook and Instagram, and Thinker versus Speaker Official on TikTok. If it's anything that y'all want to hear me talk about, any other like areas y'all want me to tap into, put some comments somewhere. Let me know. I gave y'all all my social media. Let me know something. I can find it. Anything y'all want to know about, trust me, I can find it. Usually this is where I invite, if you want to have anybody follow you on social media, I don't know, you don't have to. I know some people don't like that.
Oh, me? Oh, well, you can find me in my bed. Just in my bed, so yeah, but I thank everybody, and all I'm gonna say is if you see a veteran, and this includes me, just thank her for her service, and
thank you,
thank all the servicemen, and thank Marissa, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's no problem.
Yeah, be happy to come back.
All right, well, on that note, we gonna see y'all next week. All right, thanks, Danny.
Okay, later.
All right, bye.